This week in gaming, Tango Gameworks is saved, Dragon Age gets a date, and Naughty Dog is in hot water. This is the Nerd Cave News, and I am one of your hosts, Zach Dykes, joined by, in the far-off kingdom of Bumlington, a royal spy was sent on a mission to infiltrate the court of King Blunderbuss, a villainous monarch. Disguised as Jingles the Jester, the spy discovered that he juggled like an octopus, and his jokes made the court laugh so hard they nearly forgot to be evil. Yet, as he tripped over his own oversized shoes and accidentally knocked the king's crown into the royal soup, the spy jester managed to uncover the king's dastardly plot by sheer accident, of course, thus toppling the regime with nothing more than a well-timed fall and a particularly unruly rubber chicken. This spy was none other than Sir Nigel the Unassuming.
That's like, very anime tropey, like a comedy one, like almost feels like Anya from Spy Family, where she just stumbles into like a plot or like stumbles into like the answer to the test. So I like it. I like it a lot. It's very not juberous. That's
Jovial.
Thank you. It's very jovial. It's very it's funny. Made me laugh. I like it a lot. Sir Nigel the Unassuming. Very sophisticated. Now, the important part is, where does it rank? And I'm looking at that top 8, and it's just like, we got Eldrin Irivius, which was last week's name, Sir Elian of Reddingham, Rafael Torres, aka El Lobo, Aurelius Thorn, Nightshade, Maxwell Mindreach Stone, High Goblin King Gilgamesh, and Marconius Dracon, the Great Wizard. So Sir Nigel the Unassuming. Oh, I definitely have to put it above Sir Elian of Reddingham, but does it go above El Lobo?
I don't know. You've got to tell me.
I think I have to put it up above El Lobo. So it's going to be our new number 6. Not quite top 5, but it's going to be up right underneath.
Okay. Dope. Let's go. Now, the Unassuming, I'm glad that you're here because we've got a lot to talk about tonight. We've got a lot to talk about tonight because this episode of the Nerd Cave News is brought to you by the Epic Game Store, where you can support us by using creator code NerdCave at checkout, and our wonderful patrons, but more about that later. Derek, I've got to ask the question. Also, Amy says that she was going for a Monty Python feel.
That's fair. You know what? Now thinking about it, I did get it is a very very Monty Python feel. So good job, Amy.
So Derek, I've got to ask the age-old question, and everyone in the chat as well, over on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, all the places that we're streaming tonight. What you been playing?
So I know I said I was going to take a break from it, and I was going to try, like, I had an honest try to get back to A Plague Tale Requiem, but again,
we both know, we knew that it was not going to happen, Derek.
I know, and I had to do some cleaning around the house because my floor's been neglected, so I had to sweep and mop the floor on my other off day, and then I had to go get a haircut. As y'all can see, the fro was gone,
looking fresh to death.
So. And then today I was wanting to play it, but your boy fell asleep after he made the dock. He finished the dock and then fell asleep. No, actually, I take that back. I took a nap, woke up. It was like 1:30, 2 o'clock, and I was like, I need to finish the dock, so I had to do that. But I did boot up some College Football 25 again. I'm starting. I went back to Ultimate Team, did a couple challenges, just a couple, and then went back to Road to Glory Road to Glory. Started my sophomore year at my school. I'm already 2-0, but I'm playing 2 cupcakes. I got my first conference game coming up. Different as a sophomore. It feels like it's more challenging. Like I was playing like an FCS team, and it feels like my offensive line feels a little weaker than it did last year. But I mean, again, it's another year because in the first 2 games, they were getting pressure on me. And I guess because we were the number 1 ranked team going into the year, everyone's gunning for me. They know I'm not a snot-nosed freshman. They actually know what to expect from me. So they're applying a little bit more pressure, making it a little bit more tougher for me to score. But I'm still a baby. That's all that matters.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. So we both play quarterbacks. I played a little bit of Road to Glory as well. I am 7-0 right now with Troy.
Okay.
And
good job.
Over 2,000 passing yards so far this season.
Wow.
Yeah. My boy's got a cannon for an arm. So, and the receiver core is pretty good at Troy in the game.
Right.
So, I have this, like, I really do not like, I don't know if it changes the longer you're there, the coach trusting you, but so many times I'm forced into plays that I know are not going to work.
Yeah. I mean,
like they love running plays. Like I know this run is not going to work.
Are you still only locked to one play?
Like I can go out and like choose others, but sometimes it's just running plays. So I can't like pick plays past that.
Oh yeah, I'm about to say I'm still stuck in that mode. Like in the first game, in the first couple games for my second season, and even in the first season because I was a freshman, they picked the running plays. But I mean, my running back, like my first year, my running back was like a star senior, so he was a beast. So it was obviously feed it to him so I can get comfy. This year, I don't have I have a senior running back, but he's not a beast. He was the backup, and he's doing well, but he still keeps picking run plays. I'm like, Coach, I won the Heisman last year. I won you the national championship. Trust me more. Like, give me pass plays.
Like
let me cook.
Like we're not even ranked like in like the we're undefeated. We have like I'm the best. I have the most passing yards in the whole like college. Our runner is number 1. Neither one of us are nominated for the Heisman or nothing.
That's dumb.
I'm just like
strength of schedule.
I guess so. I'm just like, all right, like because again, we're playing like Sun Belt teams, and then like it's a pretty weak schedule to be honest. But it's just like, all right, I'm assuming that's what it is, but we're going to see how it goes. Cause I'm just like, all right, hopefully the next year we'll have a tougher schedule and be able to do some stuff, but I'm enjoying it a lot. But it is kind of trying at times where it's just like that. It's like, I can't do this, guys. Can't do this. But
have you scared Amy yet? Are you, has the old Zach come out and like screamed at the TV, like, what are you doing?
I've done that a few times, like today, because I've been sick the last 2 days. I'm finally feeling a little bit better. But today I was pressing the button and this dude was wide open. He would have made a touchdown, like a bomb. And I'm like smashing that button like crazy, get sacked. I've only been sacked 3 times the whole season.
Wow.
But it's like, all right.
Were you on the road?
I think so. Yeah. We were playing Georgia Southern.
On the road, especially like in the beginning of the game, they always like until like you get your guy up to like that confidence where he's cool under pressure. And like once you get settled into like the atmosphere and start like quieting down the crowd, they're going to do all the jumbling and confuse your receivers. Like, oh, what am I doing?
Well, no, it was like the ball was snapped and I'm like smacking X to throw to X. And let
me ask you this: did X pop up? Because
yes. Sometimes there's none of them. Like earlier on the season, I had that where it was like there was nobody there.
Okay.
Like like the icon or whatever, and you just had to kind of guess, because like he was so nervous or whatever.
Right.
But so that was a little annoying today. But not too much screaming, says Amy. So But I also played a little game called Solo Leveling Arise.
Oh.
So it's definitely a mobile game. It's pretty fun though. Like I've already leveled up to Assassin or whatever it was, like the first thing that he leveled up to before Necromancer. But the game is pretty fun. Like, you don't have to buy anything. It definitely tries to force you to buy. Like,
Yeah.
it's like constantly like stuff popping up when you're not in the actual fight or whatever. It's really basic, but it is a cool way to experience the story and getting some more of that. Like, I've already fought the big snake boss, and then I actually fought the big spider boss as well, so I'm on that part. But it's cool because it will actually put side stories that are not in the show, probably in the manga, but aren't in the show, which is pretty cool to see, like extra stuff in there to kind of add more to it. And
That's
they
cool.
actually have panels from the manga and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm digging it. I think you would like it, Derek, just because you like solo leveling, but
Yeah.
you can play it without a gamepad. I'm using my backbone to play it and everything, but I'm enjoying it. It's, I played a little here and there, and yeah, if you like solo leveling, it's definitely worth the try.
Good.
And you get gear, you get like the first punishment, like I had to like survive and everything.
Yeah.
So like I had to like dodge those huge
Worms.
centipede things, whatever they were.
Jeez, that's great.
So it's like that, and then you get companions as you go along. So I've got um Sun Chi and the kid with the armor. I don't remember, Deku point 2.0.
Oh yeah.
And then I got the one arm bandit.
And that was going to be my next question. Would be is like, do characters from the show pop up in the game other than just Genu?
Yeah. Like it's literally going beat by beat of the show.
Season? Oh wow.
So like you can actually even play as those characters. There's some missions where you play as side characters and not Genu. So that's cool. I thought that was pretty dope. And it's all voice acted.
Good.
So it's like you're not having to read a ton of text.
Yeah.
Which is nice because so many times these games don't have that, and it's super.
They want you to
annoying.
read it like a book.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to playing a little bit more of it. But let's get into the gaming discussion for the week. Hope everyone is doing well. Thank you for being here. The ones that are listening to it or watching it later, thank y'all. We hope that you enjoy it. Make sure to be part of the discussion. That's why we're doing it live, and I'm excited for this discussion. First up, Tango Gameworks is back. Thanks to a new parent company, Crafton will continue to work on Hi-Fi Rush IP.
Shady's back. Earlier this year, Microsoft's closure of Tango Gameworks, the developer behind Hi-Fi Rush, shocked the gaming industry. However, Tango has made an unexpected return under new ownership by Crafton, which is the PUBG developer. Crafton's acquisition includes the Hi-Fi Rush IP and the talented team behind it, and they have assured fans that existing titles like The Evil Within will remain accessible. The deal raises hopes for a Hi-Fi Rush sequel, but there is cautious optimism about how Crafton's ownership will impact the studio's future. So, good news for them, like a sliver of hope, because they were one of 4 studios that Microsoft had to close. And the FTC was shaking their fists like, we were right, dadgummit. We shouldn't have let it happen. But I'm happy for them. I do wonder if any of the other IPs, like I know Hi-Fi Rush was their last one, and I guess since it was newer and it was still within like a certain time frame, they could easily secure the rights. But I wonder if they were able, because Evil Within is going to be accessible, but will they be able to? Let's just say I know Shinji Mikami is no longer with that studio, so they won't make Evil Within 3 under him, but I wonder if they will make like an Evil Within 3, like if they're allowed to have the rights to it or not. But it's good for them. I do also question, it's like, how soon was this discussion in the works that needed to just wait? Because the people that were laid off, I'm sure were already looking for other jobs. So it's like, is there a grace period where they could come back if they want to, or will it just be the people that were on the Hi-Fi Rush team that was are going to get that accessibility, or like are the only ones that want to come back? I do have questions, but again, the fact that the studio a talented studio is seeing a second life is good.
Yeah, 100%. And they said, like, when this first came out, like, they're going to have as smooth of a transition as possible and a continuation, a continuity, if you will. And that to me is like, okay, they're going to try to bring over as much talent as they
Right.
possibly can. So in my mind, if that is their goal, the thought process behind it, then they would try to get everybody back
Yeah.
and that they can, the ones that are still there. Like, this is huge because the gaming industry is hurting right now. We've talked
Yeah.
about so many closures, so many layoffs, and for the Tango Gameworks family, them having the potential of a guaranteed job because it's been bought is much better than, oh, well, I'm going to go work for somebody else. The potential of a job, the old saying, a bird in the hand is better than two in the bush. So like, this is in a very, like, I was glad to see this happen because, Tango Gameworks, I think they do good work over there. I'm glad it wasn't, it wasn't a studio that hasn't lived up to like the standard that they need. But
Right.
Hi-Fi Rush, Evil Within, Ghostwire Tokyo, but the way it was kind of said, it sounded like they only got really Hi-Fi Rush out of the
Yeah.
deal. But that's okay because so many people liked Hi-Fi Rush and they want
Right.
a second one. That was literally what everybody was talking about when Tango Gameworks got closed. So
Right.
I'm excited for them. I'm glad that Crafton came in.
Yeah.
The only thing that I'm cautious about is how the management is going to be going forward with Crafton and
Correct.
how
Because
they handle everything.
the last game, I mean, obviously they're the people behind PUBG, but the last game that came out, to my knowledge, from a studio under their umbrella was the Callisto Protocol, and that was great. So
Yeah.
obviously that was striking distance. Crafton was just an overseer in this, but that it is under their umbrella. So it's like, okay, can you ensure that they will be able to make a good quality game and not just are forced to rush it out and meet uh, numbers?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it's just one of those things only time will tell. I definitely want to know more of the details of, what's coming over, what IP are they going to be able to use, and how many people are actually going to keep their jobs.
And also it's like, okay, are you just going to be the Hi-Fi Rush studio? Like, are you going to do like a Hi-Fi Rush mobile game? Are you going to do like what Kingdom Hearts did, like a rhythm game? I know it's already kind of a rhythm game, but like just like solely like a rhythm game. Are you going to do just different iterations, or are you going to actually, after you make like a couple games or another game into the Hi-Fi Rush universe, do you make a new IP since you're a new since you're back from the dead essentially?
Yeah, I would hope to see them iterate past Hi-Fi Rush. Yes, that is the thing that they're known for right now. But Tokyo Ghostwire Tokyo, even though it wasn't like
Great.
super great or anything like that, it was at least interesting in some of the aspects of the game. So there are some storytellers, there's some interesting creative parts of that studio. So I think just being Hi-Fi Rush, that will get old. So I'm glad that we're more likely going to see some creative juices flowing over at
Good.
Tango Gameworks. Let's move to the next one. Dragon Age the Veilguard gets a release date, and we got a trailer that we'll watch after Derek gives us a little updatey.
So finally, we get an announced for Dragon Age Veilguard will be a Halloween spooky time game on October 31st, alongside a new trailer featuring Solus, a battle with corrupt elf gods, and various high fantasy elements. Leading up to its release, BioWare will provide updates on the game's features. So we'll get little updates here and there over the next couple months. But the fact that it's they talked about it being this year, they teased last week that it's going to get a release date. I thought they meant next month. Maybe that was like end of July-ish and going into August. But the fact that they already went ahead and gave the release date, maybe they were worried it was going to get leaked, so they're just like, yeah, we'll just tell it. What does it matter? Just open up pre-orders. It's not going to affect us one bit. So Halloween, I feel like it's a perfect game. Now we're going to watch the second trailer. I want to see what the vibe is, because that first iteration we saw kind of was like dark, overtones, and it was just like, dark ambience. So it kind of goes with the Halloween spooky vibe. But let's watch this trailer to see what our next look at it is.
You have no idea what you have done. The blighted elven gods walk free, all because you disrupted my ritual.
You battle against gods. They will not rest until you are on your knees. Fearful, cowering, helpless in the face of such power.
Yeah, I face worse.
Rook, you've got this. I've seen your work. You're clever, adaptable, and you don't know when to quit.
You want allies to go after the gods? I've got places to look.
Oh, look, brightness.
I'll be damned.
It looks great.
A griffin.
It does.
In war, victory.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh.
I'm ready.
That's
Oh,
really cool.
Finish.
I've never seen this before. There's something kind of exciting about it.
That looks like a ghost from Destiny.
Right. Where's Peter Dinklage?
What is happening to me?
Doctor Strange?
Let the Fae draw close.
Romamu, I've come to bargain.
Draw the dragon out into the open. Then attack.
You and me, Rook. Maybe that's what scares me.
These are the times in which legends are
Oh,
born
Morgana!
or slain.
Oh, Morgan, that's her name. Morgana's Arthur.
Oh, it's like, what?
Our gods are back. Our gods. How do we stand against that?
I believe in all of us. So let's get it done.
Dang!
Man.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, oh.
Is that Fenrir? Okay.
Zombie dragon?
It looks great, dude.
Yeah. I was going to ask, so I know our first initial one, like you were kind of down on the graphics.
Mhm.
And then the combat didn't like it, or was it the combat or was it the dialogue that didn't really offer much? So I know we didn't see like gameplay, this time around, but the visual, like, does it look better than the first time we saw it?
It definitely looks better like this time around. From me, it like the one that we saw during like E3 or Summer Games Fest and everything, it was more of the combat, just it was kind of lackluster, and some of this like definitely makes me way more excited to see.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got sword and shield and we've got different things going on here. So yeah, like knowing a little bit more of the story, like I'm way more excited for sure.
Good. Like, and that was going to be my next question too, is like, did this look like, obviously we got like, a more of an in-depth gameplay trailer with some dialogue options, but does this, like, obviously you recognized Morgan. Does this do anything, like, did you notice anything else that was like from the previous games that kind of stuck out to you? It's like, oh, that's cool, they brought this back, or they're keeping with this, that kind of thing.
To be honest, like there wasn't a ton that I noticed, but it's been years since I've played.
Fair.
I didn't play Inquisition. I got it, but I never played it. That's one thing that I never got to.
Yeah.
I bought it, started it, and then I tend to have that problem with games like this. Is like I'll get into it and then I'll drop off. I want to say this dude. And I didn't want it to play. My gar. This dude looks like Vincent Price.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know who that is? Okay. Thriller.
Like the music video?
Music video, yeah. This is Vincent Price. He was also in Scooby-Doo.
Oh,
like
that's
cool. He totally looks like Vincent Price.
Fair. That's fair.
I was like, they literally modeled this dude after Vincent Price. But yeah, like he was in a lot of but yeah, like yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, as soon as I saw him, I was like, Vincent Price, which is dope for me because I love me some Vincent Price. His voice is super iconic. But yeah, this definitely moved the needle a lot more for me this time around. So it's Vincent Price for sure.
Story wise, like I know you said you didn't play Inquisition. What does this do for you in terms of like setting like the story like compared to the first two games?
Like
because it seems like whenever you get gods involved, that's like the highest stakes you can go.
Yeah, it definitely feels like this is potentially the last one because even like if you think about it, the Reapers in Mass Effect 3 were essentially the gods of that universe. Right. So this is kind of like, okay, these are the gods of, these are the elven gods. Like it's definitely like the first one I felt with the Darkspawn and all that the stakes were pretty high because only like Grey Wardens could kill them. And now we're dealing with gods. So I feel like they're ramping pretty well.
Yeah.
The second game I felt was less stakes than the first. So, and again, I didn't play Inquisition. So like, I feel pretty good about this story, like seeing more like them interrupting this ritual that we saw in the preview at E3 and everything, Summer Games Fest, whatever you want to call it.
Same thing.
Seeing that now, and it's like the aftermath, he was trying to contain them, but everybody thought he was like doing something evil and nefarious.
Yeah. It's always the thing. It's like, oh, we got to stop him. It's like, you fools, I was trying to stop them.
Yeah. You know how it is. You got to set all of that up. Set all of that up. So you got to
make the intrigue.
Exactly. So I'm excited. Y'all let us know what you think down in the comments below. And while you do that, make sure to subscribe to the Nerd Cave News on podcast services around the globe so you don't miss out on any of the awesome content that we do here each and every week. If you don't listen to podcasts, that's okay because you can subscribe over on Twitch, YouTube, over on Facebook as well. If you want to, it helps us out a ton and it keeps you informed on all the video game news that you need to know. And if you're over on podcast services, hit us with that 5-star review. It helps a ton. Let's jump into the PlayStation news because, oh my God, what is going on over in PlayStation land? It's claimed that Naughty Dog canceling The Last of Us Online resulted in heads rolling at Sony.
Just when you thought we were done talking about turmoil at PlayStation Studios, you thought wrong. We're done with Bungie for now, but we're going now to Naughty Dog. I would call it the former crown jewel, but some might still call it the crown jewel of Sony. But I digress. Naughty Dog's cancellation of their highly anticipated multiplayer project, Factions, has had far-reaching consequences beyond disappointing fans. The project, which had been in development for 4 years with a sizable team, was abruptly canceled at the end of 2023. This decision reportedly resulted in significant layoffs within the studio, with Bloomberg's Jason Schreier revealing that heads rolled at Sony as a direct consequence. These layoffs, impacting staff who had invested years into the project, have sparked concerns about the studio's future and whether the setback will strain Naughty Dog's relationship with Sony's leadership. As the studio moves forward, the aftermath of these layoffs and the project's cancellation will likely influence how Sony scrutinizes Naughty Dog's upcoming endeavors. So my first thought is, I think the Eye of Sauron that is Sony is gazed upon Naughty Dog, but I don't think it has the full malice of it yet. It's going to, because Naughty Dog is not known for multiplayer. Yes, Factions was good in part 1, not denying that, or at least decent. And people loved it. And that's why it was highly anticipated for the second one. And they touted it from the moment they announced Last of Us Part 2. At the same time, the way Sony under Jim Ryan was directing this new paradigm shift to live service, and now they're kind of taking a step back from it, especially now that he's gone, and seeing that, oh, maybe we shouldn't have made such a fast pivot. Maybe we should have done a slow burn. So, and when it affects a studio like Naughty Dog, that should raise concerns to begin with, and show that, oh, maybe some studios aren't fit or equipped to do a live service game. So I don't think it should be full scrutiny, but I do think they should turn an eye to it. It's like, because this is the first time Naughty Dog has had to cancel a game in a long time and had significant layoffs as a result of it. But now, if their next game, whatever it is, whether it be a multiplayer or a single player story game, well, especially if it's a single player story game, comes out and it doesn't hit that Last of Us 2 hype level, or doesn't hit that Last of Us 2 critical reception level. Like, it doesn't have to be Game of the Year contender, but it has to be on the same par with what we were left off with, because you're only as good as your last game. And the previous game that they did was great. It was up for Game of the Year nominations, all that. And it's got to be at least on that level. And if it falters, like if it comes out the gate and it gets like a 6, then Sony has full wherewithal to go look at Naughty Dog and be like, all right, do we have to come do some shakeups? Neil Druckmann, what you doing? Do we have to shove you out the door with Jim Ryan?
Yeah, like for me, it's like your sentiment, you're as good as your last game, but when your last game is several years old and you've put out a remix or a remake of the first one and it did okay.
Did a remaster of the part 2.
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, yes, we've been able to turn this property into a show that has been very successful, but it's like that profit is being shared between a lot of people. It's not just going into Sony's pocket. Naughty Dog has to do something amazing, and if Last of Us Part 3 is not the best thing that they've ever made, they're going to get dogged.
Yeah. Again,
pun intended.
Levels, yeah, they are. I mean, they're going to be on thin ice. They're going to be, the hot seat's going to be hot, like scorching hot, like can't even sit your butt on it hot. And again, yes, it has to come out and it has to have not just like the initial reveal. Like say they do a Last of Us Part 3, and it can pop. Like obviously you can, just like they did for Part 2, just show the logo, like the Firefly logo, and people will go nuts. But it has to. You have to show why it's going to be better than Part 2. You have to give people a reason to you want to play this. Like, you can't just rest on your laurels, sit on your 5-gallon bucket, as we've said beforehand. And they know, and a lot of the diehard fans and like Sony fans, not just Naughty Dog, but like Sony fans know, hey, this was a blip. This was a one-off. This was an outlier. Like them canceling a live service game that just didn't work. Like, yes, were a lot of people excited for it? Did they want to have the next version of Factions come out? Of course, but the people who are in the know, like what we do, like not even do shows, just are very video game heavy, like Sony ponies, as some might say, that are aware of what's all been going on in the entire company. Know that, hey, this has been a struggle across for everyone pretty much. Like even Destiny, who they brought in to consult as a live service aficionado, is struggling with the live service games, as we've been reporting the last 2 weeks. So if an expert struggles in the field, how do you think single player companies are going to fare? So I think they're giving them a fair pass. Now, if it had been another studio, like some studio up in Oregon that shall not be named, they might not give them such a fair shake because their last game was crap. But it'd be the same situation for Santa Monica or Sucker Punch, where if they came out with a multiplayer centric game, like I know Sucker Punch did Ghost of Tsushima Legends, and that was a hit. but it wasn't a separate game technically. Like they made it separate later on, but it was just an add-on to the mode that they just wanted to try out. But if they made a full-fledged game and it had to be canceled, they'd understand, because it's like, look, this is out of your wheelhouse. We're going to give you a pass. But everyone gets one.
Yeah, and we've talked about it several times over the last year, like the last few years with Jim Ryan. 60% of development at Sony was forced into live service games.
Yeah.
And Naughty Dog, they're not known for that. Like, yes, Factions was in the first game and it was pretty good. But I think this was a tough decision to cancel, but the right decision in the long run, because if they would put this out and it would have been dog water, pun intended, this would have been an issue because they would have been knocked down.
It would have muddied their name.
Yeah. And I'm just saying, I think it is a good decision, but yes, when you have to cancel that big of a game, there are going to be issues in all of that, and there's always consequences, when you're dealing with something like this. So I hope that the next Last of Us game is amazing, and I know Naughty Dog will come up with some really cool stuff past Last of Us. But right now, we're going to get into the PlayStation quickies.
So first up, PSVR 2 users might not need the adapter to play games on PC after all. Vampire Survivors comes to PlayStation on August 29th. Metal Hellsinger VR release date set for October 3rd for the PSVR 2. Not great is reportedly the sentiment on how Marathon's development is going at Bungie. Speaking of live service games, Concord Roadmap confirms new free gunners, maps, and cosmetic rewards for seasons 1 and 2. Helldivers 2 dev admits many aren't happy with the latest balance round for Escalation of Freedom update. Following that, the director of Helldivers 2 released a statement for the Escalation of Freedom update and announces fixes to come over the next 2 months, which is a little too long and for my taste. Like, I figure you should wrap that up in at least a month at most, but making games hard, fixing a game is even harder. Until Dawn brings enhanced thrills and chills to PS5 on October 4th. God of War Ragnarok PC specs revealed ahead of September release. A lot of stuff getting release dates today, or from this past week. We got Until Dawn, Vampire Survivors,
Dragon
Age, and then we're going to talk about it at some point.
We'll talk about it right now.
Yeah, Plucky Squire just got a release date.
So the Plucky Squire launches in September straight on to PlayStation Plus. This is over at IGN. The Plucky Squire launches September 17th, 2024, and straight on to the PlayStation Plus Premium Games catalog. Developer All Possible Futures announced the release date, while PlayStation revealed on X Twitter it would be landing the game on its premium subscription service at launch. It's the first game confirmed for the September 2024 lineup, just one day after The Witcher Wild Hunt, blah, 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 blah. It will arrive on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PC on September 17th. And we got a new trailer as well to go along with this. I am so excited for the Plucky Squire. So let's check out this trailer.
Many great tales are founded upon a humble beginning. That is, if that humble beginning can be found. The peaceful land of Mojo is thrown into turmoil by a magical attack from the wicked sorcerer, Humgrump. This is a job for the hero of the land, Jot, the Plucky Squire.
Jot and his sword is a pin,
with
Derek.
his trusty blade.
Oh, that's cool.
And this battle against the horrid Humgrump should prove to be
The
no
Humdrum.
exception.
Oh my God,
Foes
this
will
looks
be
so good.
felled as the fair folk of the land cheer Jot on. Except the folk of the land all have one question on their minds. This grand new adventure actually, begin?
We need it!
The land was abuzz. The anticipation
3D money in a
electric.
2D screen.
Jot could not let the people down. And luckily, it seems that he has found an answer to their question. Yes, Jot, that seems to be working. You always have a way with words. Keep it up. And there it is. Our great story has found its beginning.
I am so stoked for this. It looks so good.
That's so cool.
Like the sword being like an old fountain pen tip.
Yeah.
We got a paintbrush over here. It looks like mallets, like drum mallets or whatever. Dude, I cannot wait to play this.
I know, like, and it's literally a month from now that it comes out. This might be, I might actually give this a spin. Like, I know it's a couple, it's a week and a half after Astrobot, depending on how big that game is. But I might give it, it might be, I might have to, this might be an indie game I actually delve into. This might be, I'm going to say this right now. It's going to be up for Indie Game of the Year.
Oh,
just from initial previews. Like, obviously, we got a month to wait to get in his hand, but just like the art, like every time we see it, we're both so just like jubilant about this game, and like just brings a smile to our face. And you know, I don't think we've watched the trailer and not had a laugh at some point throughout it.
100%. Like I feel jubilant watching it. It's very demure, you know, very mindful. Some would say.
So it's what?
It's a TikTok trend right now. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, demure. Like I saw that on the TikTok last. Anyway, but yeah, very cool that it's coming out in a month. It looks great. Like it just continues to impress us. I really think that this is going to be Indie Game of the Year. It might even be, depending on how it reviews. It might be one of those like small games, because you know the last couple of years of Game Awards, there's been one small game that's been up for Game of the Year.
True.
Might even make that barrier, but we got to see. We got a month to find out.
Very true. I cannot wait for the Plucky Squire. Like, guys, we're about to eat well with some video games. We've got
the fall is shaping up.
Star Wars Outlaws is coming out end of the month. We've got Plucky Squire. We've got Dragon Age. We've got Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Mm-hmm. We've got the new Mario Party that's coming out. Like there's Astrobot. I'm not as big on Astrobot as you are. Because I've only played like the very beginning of the one for the PS5, but I'm excited for this one because it's got so many other things in there. Guys, we got so much to play. And I want to hear, what are you excited about down in the comments below? Nate asked, is that going to be on Game Pass? No, it won't be on Game Pass, but it will be available over on Xbox. It will be available on the premium PlayStation Plus. Do you have premium? I have Essential.
No, I just have the normal.
Yeah, Essential. Okay. Dan said, I just wanted to be in the video. Well, now you are. Now you're in the video.
Hello, Dan.
Very demure, very mindful. Exactly.
So the fall, and I meant to ask you with the Dragon Age, like, well, how I think you'll have your fill of Sparking Zero by then, because it'll be 20 days after that. But you know, you're definitely putting down Sparking Zero for Dragon Age, right?
I don't know, dude. It depends on how good Sparking Zero is.
That's also fair.
Dude, I am like Sparking Zero is probably one of the games that I'm most excited about for this fall.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, because like I've been wanting.
Nostalgia's true, man.
I've been wanting like Budokai Tenkaichi game for so long, and we've got Xenoverse and Fighter Z and all of that. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, that's good for y'all. I'm ready to eat, and now I'm finally getting to eat, Derek.
Yeah.
Kakarot was great. I enjoyed Kakarot. It was as close as we've gotten to it, but it still was limited in the way the story, you know, the way the game was made and everything.
Let's just get back to bare knuckle brawling. Like just go back to mindless beating each other up, man.
Dude, I saw something today. It is like MMA and Knights. Like,
oh yeah, the one you sent me.
Yes. Like, dude, I'm down to go watch something like that.
Did you see my response to him? I was like, the combat for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 looks dope.
I didn't see your response, bro. Sorry. That's great. Oh, so there is a lot that is coming out, but now it's time for the quick Patreon quick hits. And you can kind of guess who supports the Patreon Quick Hits. It's our wonderful patrons. They went over to patreon.com/nerdcave and supported us over there. They found a tier that fit best for them. And you can also go over there and grab a free membership if you don't have any extra bucks to toss. We understand the economy sucks right now. So go support us by getting your very own Nerd Cave membership to help us continue to make awesome shows like this one, Eat, Sleep, Anime, which we are going to be doing a review for Full Metal Alchemist right after the show. So we're almost done, guys. So you want to go and make sure that you're going to check that out. We're going to be live on YouTube and Twitch for that one. The link is right here. I'm popping it in the chat right now. For the people that are over on Facebook, YouTube people, you're going to be pushed over there. But go support us. We are a 1.5 team, employee team over here. 1.5.
Zach's the half.
That's okay, because you're my number one, Derek. So become part of the ship, part of the crew over on patreon.com/nerdcave. And now it's time for the Patreon Quick Hits.
So starting off, we've talked about it, I feel like ad nauseum, or brought it up. I feel like they just need to just get it out the way at this point. WB is considering licensing its IP like Harry Potter, DC, Game of Thrones, and more to other game studios. Control 2 in production readiness stage at Remedy, while Max Payne remakes in full production. Following that, Remedy reports a 16% rise in revenue, and Alan Wake 2 has made back most of its development costs. Doom Eternal finally adds official mod support on Steam, with Microsoft Store support coming soon. Following that, Doom and Doom 2 getting new enhanced versions with a brand new episode and more. Take-Two CEO says a long-term video game actor strike wouldn't be good for anyone. Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster confirms you can turn off the revamped HUD and confirms item durability bar and more. Following that, Dead Rising Deluxe lets you play the game on the original control scheme. Bandai Namco announces first ever Dragon Ball MOBA game at Dragon Ball Project Multi. Dead by Daylight's highly requested 2v8 mode extended by 2 weeks. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Zombies trailer shows off creepy giant spiders and full gameplay. Dragon Age the Veilguard creative director says Anthem taught BioWare to, quote, know what you're good at. Speaking of knowing what you're good at, going back to Naughty Dog. Halloween is getting its own Unreal Engine 5 with John Carpenter intimately involved. Terminator Survivors has been delayed into 2025. Nacon Studio Milan CEO says, quote, we'll be back. Assassin's Creed Shadows has taken longer to make than any other game in the series at 4 years. Deadlock, Valve's new hero shooter, is quietly amassing thousands of playtesters. Maximilian Dude's Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite mod will be free and has a beta available now. Chernobylite 2 Exclusion Zone has been announced for PC and consoles. Borderlands 4 teased by Randy Pitchford in wake of poor Borderlands movie reviews. Following that, the Borderlands film may be bombing, but the aftershock has given the Borderlands games a rise in sales and player counts. Gamescom opening night live to feature Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Monster Hunter Wilds, and new game reveals. Square Enix could shift to Unreal Engine 5 for Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 if it can speed up development time. Fallout New Vegas director open to helming new Fallout game if given enough creative freedom. Beetlejuice comes to Multiverses on August 20th, so that's just a few days from now. Overwatch 2 Season 12 trailer reveals World of Warcraft crossover tease. Valve confirms it will add Steam OS support for Asus ROG Ally. Video Game Collector sets world record by connecting 444 unique consoles to a single TV. I didn't even know there were that many in existence. Boss Team Games announces 2 16-bit platformers based on the Halloween and Ash vs. Evil Dead franchises. Red Dead Redemption PC port appears imminent as PlayStation Store bizarrely says it's now on PC. And finally, The Witcher 4 stars Geralt of Rivia, but not as the main character.
Interesting. I don't know. I'm hoping that Assassin's Creed Shadows is actually going to be good if they've taken that long to make it, but I'm not going to hold my breath. That's also coming out this fall. Like, there's
that's November.
Yeah, there's so much. And then Black Ops is coming out, which,
It's not for us, but it's always a big game,
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of cool things coming out in the very near future. Right now, we are about to shift over to our review of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. So y'all go. Twitch people, you just stay here. Facebook people, you can check the link that I have put in the comments below. And YouTube people, you're going to be pushed over to this as soon as we end it. So Derek, go ahead and jump into that new place, the new one, and that way we can move over there. But guys, we hope that you've enjoyed this episode of the Nerd Cave News. I'm looking forward to hanging out and having an awesome time with all of you in the very, very near future. And yeah, I'm excited, guys. It's going to be great. Come and join us as we discuss Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I just finished watching the show and I want to discuss and talk about it. So come and be a part of that. And we will see you on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. This has been Zach
and Sir Nigel the Unassuming.
Y'all have a blessed week. Bye-bye.